No, I did not. I didn't want to accuse anybody of anything.
You were then interviewed on February 1st, 2022, a few days later, correct?
I don't know.
Does that
I
sound
don't know
right?
the exact date. I was interviewed again, but I don't know the exact date.
Okay. During your interview, let me withdraw that, ask a different question. On February 1st, or whatever day it was, the subsequent time that you were interviewed just a few days later, you did then, for the first time, describe the taillight that you saw, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would it refresh your recollection if you looked at a report?
Yes, please.
Why people gotta lie for? Get my life. Oops.
Fast forward.
Little dot. February 1st, 2022, by a trooper by the name of Connor Keefe and a trooper by the name of Kathleen Prince.
Yes. Did Connor Keefe write that report?
I'm sorry?
Did Connor Keefe write that report?
Trooper Kathleen Prince wrote the report.
Okay.
Does that matter? No?
No.
Okay. Did that refresh your reflection that you did discuss the taillight?
Does it matter?
Yes.
And did you tell
It does
Trooper
matter.
Prince and Trooper Keefe that you noticed the back right taillight in the middle, quote, in the middle, your words, was broken and a piece of the metal encasement was pushed forward?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't say the taillight was shattered, correct?
Correct.
You didn't say that the entire lens was missing, correct?
Correct.
Broken in the middle, is that right? And then you described today that a square piece was missing,
Yes. That's the piece I was referring to in the middle.
just in the middle of the taillight, though. That was how you described it.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to shift gears for a quick second and talk about a March 7th, 2023 text message with victim witness advocate Steve Nelson. Do you remember communicating? You don't have to know the exact date, but if you do, fine. Do you remember communicating in March of 2023 with victim witness advocate Steve Nelson about the Ring camera at One Meadows?
I don't know the exact date, but yes.
Okay. Is it true that
I'm still here.
you contacted him to inform him that the O'Keefes needed to replace or wanted to replace the driveway Ring camera, that same Ring camera that we just...
Why people keep
saw from
asking
that perspective?
a
Yeah.
tree girl?
Yes.
Why people keep asking
Did
these
Mr. Nelson
stupid
indicate that
questions?
he believed that would be fine to replace that Ring camera if the O'Keefes wished to do that?
I don't remember if he said it would be fine, but at some point they were told they could replace it. It had broken. It wasn't working.
Did he indicate that he would check
Hi.
with DDA Adam Lally and then get back to you?
Tree
I don't know.
grow.
At some point, you were informed that the O'Keefes had the green light to go ahead and camera at One Meadows. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then ultimately, you then relayed that to the O'Keefes that they had the green light. You talked to somebody at the DA's office, and they said, "Yeah, go ahead and replace the camera." Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I know children are the future of America.
Did you ever receive any kind of response from the DA's office, either before or after you relayed this information to the O'Keefes, to say, "Wait, hold on, we need to do a reconstruction. We need to make sure that the camera is in the exact same spot that it was at the time of the incident"?
No.
Any communication like that?
No.
So the communication that you got was, "Yep, go ahead and replace it. No big deal."
Correct.
And ultimately, you learned that the O'Keefes did, in fact, replace that Ring camera.
Correct.
Forget to like and subscribe.
You have already described your relationship, at least in part, with Canton Police Officer
No.
Sergeant Michael Lang, right?
Tree
Yes.
grow.
He is friends with you.
His daughter is friends with my daughter.
Your friend Lee with the family.
Yes.
Okay. And you're aware that he's also friends with the Albert family.
No, well,
Hi,
No.
Are
Christina.
you aware that
Why?
Michael Lang grew up with Chris Albert?
I was not.
Have you ever been in a social setting with
'Cause I
both
like
the Langs
trees.
and the Alberts?
No.
You're aware, obviously, you were at the scene. He was the first officer to respond to the crime scene at 34 Fairview on January 29th after Officer Seraph and after Mulaney arrived. Right? Then it was Sergeant Lang.
I don't know which order. I did see Sergeant Lang there, yes.
Was he the,
Why you have
Mr.
that
Marcus,
down? No
do you
reply. Why you have
remember
the
date of
Donald Trump?
communication between yourself and Mr. Nelson?
No, I don't remember the date.
Would it refresh your recollection if you looked at a text message between the two of you about this, the subject of the ring camera?
Sure.
Okay.
Do I need to know the date?
May I, Coach? I can say the date.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Thanks.
Because
March 7th, 2023?
Is that
I don't really care for him.
Thank you all.
My night is doing pretty good. You see how many subscribers I have? 459.
You indicated that you did recognize Sergeant Lang. at
Don't
the
forget,
scene.
guys,
You
like
had
and
a conversation
subscribe.
with him.
No. I said, Mike, is that you? He
Working
said
on.
yes,
I'm
and that
trying to
was
work on 500.
Following that, the next day, you did go to his house. You've already described that.
it. I did.
You indicated that you went to his house to drop off your daughter for a play date. Is that right?
Yes.
But you also indicated that you
Yep.
took Jennifer McCabe with you.
Yes, because I drove Jen McCabe to the O'Keefe's house, so she was leaving to go home with me. So I was
So-
going to drop her off.
Okay, so your memory is you took Miss McCabe from where over to the Lang's house?
I think she was at home
So you
My
picked her up
channel's lame,
at her
so
house?
Yes.
if it's
With anybody
lame,
else?
then you can.
with my daughter, my
Bye
son.
bye.
I picked up her and either one or two of her daughters. I don't remember.
And then you drove over to the Lang's
Thank
house?
you,
Is that right?
Christina.
No, I drove to the O'Keefe's house.
First.
Yes.
And what did you do with the
Then
O'Keefe's?
left a couple of kids, and my daughter wanted to go to the Lang's house. So
People
I
are
drove my daughter
assholes
to the Lang's
here.
house before driving home.
And Jen's child was with you on the way from Jen's house over to the O'Keefe's house.
Yes, one or two daughters. I don't know,
Dropped the one or two kids off at the O'Keefe's, is that right?
as well as my son.
As well as your son. Then you went to drop off your daughter for the play date.
No, she was 13, so it wasn't a play date.
Play date, 13 years old.
What a date, whatever. it is.
So she went over to her friend's house.
How's
yes.
your day,
Okay.
Christina?
But you took
Or your
Jennifer
night.
with you.
Yes, because I was driving her home.
Back
I don't
to
let
her house.
stuff like that bother
Without the
me,
kids?
but people need
Yes,
to
she
stop
went
being
home.
rude when they come to this
Were you gonna go
channel.
back to the O'Keefe's
Or to
pick up
any
the kids
channel.
And then take all of them home?
I didn't have a plan. I mean, Patrick,
Okay,
nephew, is my son's best friend,
got
so
it.
he wanted to be with him.
Okay.
And you can also report them for bullying.
I think you just answered this, but I want to make sure I'm clear about it. You didn't.
That's
go to
not
the
bullying. Like, if when you
You all
see
went the same class,
somebody's
right?
channel is
Correct.
lame, that's
Okay.
bullying.
Did anybody stop by or go by 34 Fairview during that roundabout?
No,
Nobody stopped off at 34 Fairview either on the way or on the way back?
no. I don't
Right,
believe so. That
Mike,
wouldn't be the route in which to get.
You got nothing nice
my
to
house.
say,
Right.
just don't say that at all.
You indicated that you stayed, even though you were dropping off your daughter, y'all stayed, you and Ms. McCabe
That's what I
stayed
was taught.
at Sergeant Lang's house for some 45 minutes. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
And Sergeant Lang's wife, you indicated was in the backseat of your car?
Yes,
Did y'all ever go inside the house?
Jen went in to go to the bathroom.
Was Sergeant Lang there?
I don't know. I didn't go in.
You didn't have any communications with Sergeant Lang?
I'm sorry?
You didn't have any communications with Sergeant Lang and Mike Lang on that trip,
No, I did not.
but you don't know whether or not Jen did?
I don't know whether or not Jen did. She went in the house to go to the bathroom.
Okay. You've indicated that there have been occurrences in which Jennifer McCabe has asked you to contact the DA's office on her behalf to ask a question here or there. Get
Exactly.
some information, correct?
To Steve Nelson, yes.
Okay. How
That
many
person don't
times,
have a
just
life.
number of
That's the
times,
thing
volume,
too.
Would you say that Ms. McCabe has asked you to reach out to the DA's office
Like-
in one particular or another? on her behalf?
Not, I don't think very many.
What
Like,
does that
don't
mean? That's
treat
like
people
50
like that.
times
Because
you've
if
had
you have a
maybe
channel,
like
you wouldn't
4,
want
not
people to
many.
treat you the
To
same
my
way.
knowledge.
When you would, on these 4 occasions or 4 or so occasions, when you would reach out to the DA's office, gather information, whatever that information may be.
I wouldn't go to
report that
people's
information
channel
back.
and bring them down. That's
Yes.
fucked up. If I don't like the channel, I'll leave.
You obviously understand the importance of providing statements to law enforcement that are free of influence of other people, other witnesses. Is that right?
Say it again?
You understand the importance of providing information to law enforcement as a witness to law enforcement, free of influence from other people.
Yeah.
In other words, you want to be as accurate and as independent as possible.
Yes.
And that's because if your statement is somehow, or if your communications with law enforcement are somehow influenced by others, it might call into question the credibility of the person providing the statement. Objection.
Can you answer that question, Ms. Roberts? No. Okay, next question.
Sure. A statement that's been colored by influence from someone else would lack credibility, right? Objection.
Sustained.
Sustained.
I want to talk about the statements in the prior testimony that you have provided in this case, Ms. Roberts. There's been several of them. The first time you told your story to law enforcement was on January 29th. We've already established that, correct?
Correct.
Say that again?
It was on January 29th, the first time you relayed your story to law enforcement.
Yes,
And that was to Trooper Dunn and Trooper DeChico. That's the name I could remember.
I don't remember.
But you do remember Trooper Dunn.
I remember 2 troopers. I don't know their name.
Okay. Where did that interview take
This
place?
lady don't
In
remember
my
shit.
dining room.
And who was with you when you gave that interview? If anyone.
My husband was home. I think my daughter was home at that point. I don't know. My husband was home. I don't know if the kids were home.
Nobody else from outside the family?
No.
Okay.
You sure?
Who contacted you about doing that interview? How did they know to come to you at your home?
I don't remember. They may have just shown up. I don't remember.
Do you remember what time the interview was?
I'm watching the. If
Maybe
anybody's
around
wondering, I'm
dinner time,
watching
maybe
the
around
Karen
5,
Reed
6.
case. Day number 2.
Was it recorded?
I'm sorry?
Was it recorded in any way? Tape
I don't-
recorder running?
I don't think so.
The troopers were taking notes, obviously.
I believe so.
During your conversation with, and I'm jumping around a bit, so I apologize. During your conversation or conversations with Mr. Brennan and the DA's, members of the DA's office in preparation for your testimony, were any of those interviews recorded?
No.
Was anybody taking notes?
No.
No, none of the DA's were actually taking notes, the ABAs?
I didn't look around the table to see if anyone was taking notes, but I didn't see them taking notes.
No pads and pens on the table?
There's a lot of stuff on the table, but I didn't see anybody taking notes.
Okay. You received a phone call just before that interview started at 5:25 p.m., correct?
Around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Is
When
it
today or
29th,
yesterday?
you mean?
This is the night of, I'm jumping back to the night of the 29th.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, it's in
not
January.
following you very well.
That's okay. On the 29th,
Yeah.
when you were interviewed around 5:25 p.m., maybe just a little bit before that,
Yeah.
you received a phone call just before that, correct?
I
Correct.
do not know.
Isn't it true that Jen McCabe called you and spoke to you just before that?
I spoke to Jim McCabe the entire day.
Okay.
Wow.
Including just before that interview.
I don't know.
Did you tell Jen McCabe that you were about to be interviewed?
No.
Did you tell her at some point did you text her and tell her that the officers had arrived?
I don't think so.
Did she text you back and say, call me right after?
I don't know.
She looks nervous.
During the course of that interview, when the incident was still pretty fresh in your mind,
Weird.
you
So
indicated that
weird.
at about 5 a.m. you got a call from Karen
Everything's
Reed
weird.
indicating that John never came home and that she was worried, correct?
Correct.
You also indicated that she was worried that John may be walking.
This lady
and
is
got hit
weird.
by a plow. You relayed that to the officers.
Yes.
You
She's
indicated
lying.
that, you met up with Karen
Why
Reed
you
and Jennifer
always
McCabe at Jennifer
lying?
McCabe's house,
Why you
and Karen was
fucking
hysterical and worried that
lying?
something had happened to
Why
John.
you always
You also indicated that
lying?
once you were at 34 Fairview, once y'all had made your way over to 34 Fairview, Karen saw John and ran to him, although you and Jennifer didn't see him initially, correct?
That's correct.
You said that Karen was repeating the phrase, is he dead, over and over, is that right?
That is correct.
You also indicated that she said that if anything happened to John, she'd kill herself, correct?
That's what she said to me.
Okay.
So the objection is sustained.
She got a good lawyer, Karen
At any
Reed.
time,
Looks tired.
I'm sorry, let me ask that a different
So
way.
go to bed.
Did
Then.
either of the troopers indicate to you after your initial interview that if there was anything further that you could recall that would be useful, please provide it. Please give it to at that time.
I don't know.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at that January 29th report?
Sure.
Show the second page of that report, January 29th. Marked by paragraph 5. You take a look at that.
Yo, guys, I'll be back later. Thank you for joining us.